Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today would be not usual video. It may be usual for you, like from the matter of replacing capacitors on my channel, but it will be unusual because I will put my best deck into modification, because I finally make a push for myself and got like 22 microfarad and 10 microfarad capacitors from WIMA. And I want to validate that if we use film capacitors in the best deck in the world, that it will sound even better. That one sounds like awesome, but comparing to old decks I modified with WIMA capacitors, the very top high end of like on the high frequencies, very top end there is not that clear as on other decks modified. So I was holding myself because like the values are large, like 10 and 22 microfarad in this deck. And as you may see, the size of capacitors is huge. And I would need to invent the way how to install those capacitors and feed them into the boards, because there are like quite a few of them, like 12, 22 microfarad, I believe another 10 of 10 microfarads. And that would be a hell of a work. But I kind of decided for myself I want to try it, because Pioneer improved, Nakamichi way improved, and I believe if I improve this deck even further, that would be just the best deck in the world. All right, from all these years I've been with you, I've been doing modifications. I tried different series of capacitors. I have learned a lot. I was like learning like theory additionally how capacitors affect. And my bet that when you install different op-amps, technically you just change impedance, which affects how capacitors in the amplifier network will conduct frequencies one way or another, more low end, more high end, or whenever will be happening. Because like that's mostly about impedance. That's when like capacitors, decoupling capacitors between different stages of amplification, they are loaded into resistive and like sometimes non-resistive load, which technically makes a filter, like high pass filter, when we are losing low frequencies. And additionally, that we lose in low frequencies also significantly changes the phase shift of these frequencies. Because of that, if we use like large electrolyte capacitors, that makes the other deal. It helps with low frequencies, but it gets high frequencies in danger. In most cases, those are become messy due to the nature of the electrolyte capacitors. And that's how everything should be balanced. In my understanding, that Nakamichi decks have this very low bus and frequently outplay many other decks, is because they were quite pedant on like how to connect everything together, make proper impedance. And like if you will consider one of the best Nakamichi decks ever made, like Dragon or RX505, CR7, all this deck has the small capacitors, but at the same time they are loaded as 100 kilo resistors, and as a result they produce a very good bus at the same time, like not reducing amount of high frequency significantly. All right, so let me start working on it, and I see you in my next pieces of this nice video. See you soon. All right, guys, and here I'm starting, and this is playback amplifier, and we need to replace 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of 22 microfarad. We will be replacing them with 10 microfarad WIMA. So 2 will be replaced with 1. Okay, and we have 2 by 22 microfarads, and we would need to fit these guys. You see my challenge, right? So let me do this and I show you results. All right, everyone, that's how many capacitors I removed. That's how many I'm installed. So 2 by 22 microfarad and 6 by 10 microfarad. It may not look nice, right? But imagine that the size is kind of like 8 times bigger, and I had to invent. So I fixed them with a hot glue, so they would not pop up, because like they like large, heavy, and just to make sure that they will not break anything. All right. At this moment, like, I would think that I would like to listen first to the playback amplifier before make my decision if I want to recap the recording amplifier, because those one has way more capacitors in it, and most of them are 22s, the large one. So kind of 10 more 22s and couple more 10 microfarads, maybe a few 4.7 like and so on. All right, see you soon. Hello everyone, and here I'm back. It's the next day, and like I decided to listen my new board before I will move forward with recapping the record amplifier. I tested all modes that they work. All right, because like for no Dolby, Dolby B and Dolby C, our 10 microfarad capacitors work this pass, and when you use Dolby S, and these 22s will work. All right. What I mentioned from the sound perspective, it gets like more like balanced across all frequencies. There is like really clear highs, really like fast, and at the same time like not overwhelming bass. Sounds really good. So let me do more tests, and then like I will start recapping, I believe, the record board. And we may get the similar results as we get from Pioneer and Nakamichi decks, just with a little bit more pain. I forgot to tell you like that to install this capacitor, I had to move one of the electrolytes for Dolby S on the opposite side of the board, just like to get some space for it. Right, now the glue is completely stuck and everything holds very steady, so I don't afraid that something may happen with the board, even if I will transport it. All right, now like lower board, this part will be like more easy because there are like two capacitors here, but around Dolby S there will be a little bit of mess because there is not enough room to fit everything. So keep watching to see how I overcome it. So far, I like what I hear. So let's see the final results and if I will be finally happier than before with this deck. See you soon. All right, are you ready? This may look scary, right? But I wanted to try WIMA. I wanted to save values, and I don't change like 22 by 4.7 microfarad due to size. I had to extend legs. I had to use hot glue to fix capacitors so they didn't move. All right. Engineers may think I doing wrong because like the bigger capacitors probably mean bigger induction, but it still gives less ESR. It's still like due to material. I feel that when I listen to these capacitors, I have like a more linear frequency distribution. Like there is like no frequencies pop up over each other. I hear like the better separation in the high range. That was on other decks. Now we will try on this deck because we never tried before these large caps. I've only tried in the listening mode and I liked what I heard. So that's why I decided to go with record amp recapping. But now it's time for the truth. Let me assemble the boards and let's start measuring and see how everything will work together. See you soon. All right, assembled and I'm testing. And I'm currently testing my chrome tape with the frequency sweep 400 Hz to 15 kHz. And as you may see, amplitude is absolutely the same. So there is no rise or drop over the range. Phase is good, everything is good, like really. Needles are like not changing. Maybe half decibel higher on 15 kHz, specifically left channel maybe 1 decibel higher on 15 kHz. Right channel is technically the same. All right, that's a good sign. So playback didn't change. At least I cannot measure changes in the playback. As I told, like the only difference I hear is a better separation of the high frequencies. Now let's see recording how everything changes. Right, everything in the middle. No calibration, nothing. Okay, levels. Let's check levels. Oops. Left channel doesn't record, so I believe somewhere issue because it's two-sided board. That's where somewhere one channel on top side didn't connect it because like I'm already like recapped this board like 4 times, maybe 5, and that's where top and bottom maybe not connected. I need to check where is the issue is and like fix it. I hope it won't take long. See you in a moment. Okay, I just fixed it. It was even more simple. Like out of all recapping work, I didn't solder 2 pins, like 2 different capacitors, but I soldered 1 pin and didn't solder the other one. One channel did work just because I was lucky and it was in touch. And like when I soldered the other one, turned over like the second channel went off. It was the same place, like same 2 capacitors. All right. Now let's see the recording. Like -1 decibel without calibration for this tape type. All right. Now let me see. Let's do -20 and see if something get changed. Yeah, we see bias, but because there is not enough, like both bottom and top cover and side covers don't present. So see, as soon as I put hand on top, the bias is gone. Like so, I will do like some preliminary testing, and then we'll close bottom cover, side covers, and then like we will start tuning. I believe like there will not be a big difference. Again, like our VTVM will remove this, as I told, like about 1 decibel difference. VTVM will remove bias. So now let's see frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, but it's only bumpy, right? Like when like heads affect each other. Now see, this is jumping 18.4. It's jumping like crazy, right? And now I will rewind a couple seconds, and it's recorded pretty well. So that just matter how we measure it. All right. Everything records, please. Now I save to assemble front panel, bottom panels, and bottom and side panels. Then we will do tuning and close the deck. See you in a moment. All right, I'm closed, I'm testing, I'm recording, and it's currently type 2 tape because on Sony we need to start from type 2. And as you may see, so that's 400 gears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.4. That's where it starts to drop. 22, 20, 23 it drops. But up to 21 kilogears, 21.4, we record pretty well on type 2 tape without any significant issues. Next, that's the order. On Sony DeX you need to start with SA or like type 2, then install type 1 and tune up the bias. So that's the level, and I will go to 10 kilohertz. Source here, tape. It's a little bit elevates. Now it's not even between left-right channel. Let me adjust a little bit, make it even. Right, a little bit not in phase at 10 kilohertz. Let's rotate the tape. Will change. Yeah, on this side it records way better in phase. Now we have this left-right channel, pretty good shape, and it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's a little bit bumpy, right? Alright, still Sony records very good without any cheating and good results. And now I will test MA tape. So 400, yes, this tape a little bit not even between left-right channel, like about 1 decibel, but let's test. Alright, we have lots of high frequencies elevated. Should I use Sony tape on Sony deck? This will be more appropriate, I think. So these were levels much better together. 10 kilohertz, so 400 gears, 10 kilohertz, a little bit rise, about 0.8 decibel. That was not the case before. All right, left channel, done. Now, no change. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. All right, pretty good results. So that would be it with the tuning. So not a big change, almost everything stayed in place. Now it's time to listen on the audio system. I will update you with my results if I achieved what I wanted, or all this was just waste of time and money. These capacitors are expensive. The big one $5.50, the smaller one about $2.50 or $3, something like that. So let's see. I hope that I'm right and everything I did here will bring me desired results. Thanks for being with me. Again, if you think I went mad, it's your right. I pretty much like this deck because it has super low level flutter. It records and produce the sound. It was exactly the same as the source with minus that top high frequencies like were ending like earlier. I didn't hear them that well as I hear from other decks I recopied with WIMA, right? Plus like separation, as I told you before, like when I first time installed WIMA into Nakamichi deck and it did play, I just like realized how much I was missing, because like when guitar is playing, I can hear every string separately. When clarinet is playing, it's super live. When like drums playing, it's just unbelievably detailed. All right, see you soon. And here guys, I'm recording on this deck after I complete recapping with WIMA capacitors. It sounds really cool. What I like with these capacitors, that sonic patterns or like how deck sounds, it doesn't change, like don't make it colder or don't make it warmer. It's maintains the same sound. But the biggest difference is that all instruments are now separated on stage. I can hear everyone separately. I even can hear the depth of the stage, which instruments closer, which far away, and so on. And like specifically, as you remember, I was playing in like big band myself, and I hear all instruments separately, and like this makes me so much joy when I can do it. So now this deck like took back the crown of all my cassette decks, and it's now the absolutely most closest to the original. Blind test, like it's barely, I probably would not be able to tell like between Dark, which is currently playing upscaling from 96 to 768 kilohertz, and like when the deck recorded, like it's so close. All right, so I would tell that my experiment was successful. I also tried different Dolby like systems yesterday. I recorded different tape types. What I can tell that probably the only thing I would change, this 22 microfarad, which are on the output and playback amplifier of Dolby S, right? I would make like probably 10 microfarads. It would be enough. And produce a little bit more bass than comparing to the like off B and C modes. And as you remember, it was like the only two 22 microfarad capacitors on the playback amp installed. All right, everything else is super nice. I highly recommend this upgrade if you would consider. A little bit bulky, too large capacitors to have it, but results worth it, really. Sorry, cannot do more. Hope you like it, enjoy it, my channel. Subscribe and stay with me. Bye-bye.